Oh well, how the heck are ya? Welcome to again the Semifinals Podcast here, featuring again your good old Canadian boy, not from Toronto, feathers and fur, dealing with and looking at the semifinals in zero gravity gaming. We've got a fine, fantastic group here together. We got LebramJames here, who's taking part in the playoffs as a member of Cosmic Snowballs. We got Ballistic One, the jungler / AD carry / only remaining member of Classic Esports Arrow, who basically made it through the split.
Hey, my support's coming back, and so is Storm.
Point taken. We got Cuda of Earth, who again crashed to Earth at the start of the split in mid lane before coming back extremely hard and putting in basically a borderline MVP performance, quite frankly.
If I hadn't, thrown the early part of the split and hadn't been useless to my team.
Oh, far from it. Again, we have the new Jensen, who is the Canadian Doki. So again, thank you. Glad to have you here in this. Well, nobody can understand you in either official Canadian language. That's the problem. So, and again, we've got Atilla, just good enough again to miss playoffs from Astro New Horizon. Again, I'm Feather.
Atilla gets the just good enough to miss it, but I don't.
Well, again, it's...
Dude, you've missed the boat a long time ago.
we only missed the boat because of that FF to Arctic. Like, I guarantee we would have fucking won against them.
Anyways, so we're looking at kind of, again, the state of the league. We're at the point of semifinals. We've had our kind of break off for Easter, where everyone got the fine enjoyment of, Easter eggs and all of that. Just starting off in regards to this, we've got 4 teams here in the semifinals. All in all, pretty good split. I would say, certainly when it comes down to it, if there was one more week even in the regular season, we would have had some really, really interesting late season games.
Yeah, Astro could have actually fucking made finals.
Yeah,
Astro, Classic, both. If I hadn't hand up the roster that I had, probably the whole thing.
And it's really important to kind of just note that in the context of next split. Wow. I see Doki has joined the call. So, thank you.
Well, you hear that, honey? You're a Doki.
That is an insult to the child.
Yeah.
No child should be subjected to that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, no. Please
again,
don't subject my baby to that.
So, anyways, looking at stuff, again, we've got 4 teams. We've got the first seed, Illumination Valiant, versus the 4th seed, Cosmic Snowballs, 2nd seed, Redemption, versus 3rd seed, Monkeys in Training. But all in all, first thing I'm going to say is that this isn't perhaps the case for, again, you veterans like Jensen, Cuda, Atilla, Lebram. There's this feeling that genuinely, some people will have their preferences. I myself wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams won. Whereas,
same.
Whereas, last split, you had again a couple of contenders, you had a couple of people kind of coming and going, but I don't think
this is the most competitive split I've seen for almost any league, at least that I've been in a long time.
Yeah, the entire power of the players has really gone up this split. So
you guys kind of toss up in the playoffs, right? I'll be freaking surprised if they win.
I was about to say nothing against MIT, but I don't see him getting past Redemption this week.
Well, we'll see. We'll get to it. Again, spoilers again. We've got some pretty kind of close things here, which leads into our first question. So just going through person by person. Again, I'll just kind of cue people in. Last split we had Illumination versus Monkeys in Training. So they were the two teams again who made finals. Illumination Valiant, if they win, would be, I believe this would be the third time or fourth time in a row they've been in finals.
I believe it would be 4.
Yeah, I believe it would be 4. So
Yeah, because they
Please,
lost the first 2, and then they won last split, and then this would be 4 in a row. So
yeah. So in any case, first of all, without predicting the games, like going into detail on this, are we going to see these? Are we going to see both teams back in the finals, one of these teams back in the finals, or neither? So, in the case of this, again, Lebram, what are your thoughts? Are we going to see... I know you have an investment in regards to Cosmic. I get that. So, are we going to see, assuming that you're going with yourself, how many teams from last finals are we seeing in this finals?
Speak on this as if I'm an outsider, not as a Cosmic player, but, like, I think Elimination has a good chance. I don't think MIT has any chance of being in the final. I'm gonna say straight.
Alright, well, again, fair is fair. Ballistic, what are your thoughts? Are we going to see both, one, or neither?
I agree partially with Ibram. I think that we could possibly see Illumination. They definitely have a chance, but in my opinion, it's going to be an uphill battle for MIT. We could see both, but I'm thinking we might see one.
Alright. Cuda, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think it'll be Illumination going on. I don't really see MIT making it.
Wow, we got a lot of groupthink here. And Jensen, just to wrap it up, what do you think?
I don't know why people are underestimating so much MIT. They have the laners to compete with like Redemption's ones. So no, I think it's pretty much, I'd say it's 55-45 in favor of Redemption, but I don't see MIT being so weak.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Do you think that there's a good chance we're going to see both teams in the finals, like from last split?
No, I think it's going to be one team.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be both. It's either going to be MIT, Cosmic, or Illumination, Redemption. I don't see being both teams.
Okay, so general, just going through the general idea, the grand total of people, the vast majority said 1 across the board, including the people who are not here. Again, I got the stuff from iPlay Support. Riv60 was also here with his thoughts, and I'll just put in Doki's thing here. He once more feels that RAR is making finals, so I'm just going to put that in here for him.
He was gonna we all knew he was gonna say that one.
Yeah, no, alright. So
Leave it to Doki, man.
So, we can kind of go through the first one, and my follow-up question is will we see no returning teams from last finals? Why or why not? But we've also kind of said, essentially, we've given our reasons for why, if we have one, what it is. Most people saying that Illumination, if there's going to be one, is probably the option, but, you know, it's still pretty up in the air. Which team has the most to lose this Sunday, whether that be through pride, whether that be through personnel loss, and why? So there's 2 questions here. First of all, team. Second of all, player. And they don't have to be the same. As an example, just to give one for people, iPlay Support, aka Robin, said, well, Illumination Valiant is the team with the most to lose, but the player with the most to lose is on Monkeys in Training and is fishing for honor because he was a coach, now he's a player. Again, how is that going to look perhaps for him if his team falls short in, the semifinals after saying, well, I coached a team to the championships. So that's the general thing. Team and player who have the most to lose in the semifinals, and they don't have to be from the same team. So again, just for the sake of starting it off, Lebram, what are you thinking for team with most to lose?
So I'm going to say Illumination is going to have the most to lose this Sunday, just because you guys talked about like how they've been dominant in finals. Something that they've always been there. I think if they just don't show up to this finals after the season that they had, it's going to just look bad on their part. Moving on to a player, it's a bit hard, but I'm going to go with Kaneki. Kaneki sees this winner And if he loses in the semifinals, that's not gonna make him.
All right. Again, just for the record, for my own stuff, so I can just say that, hey, because again, I love to sit on the fence, but I will say that, for me, I went with Illumination Valiant, and I went with the player with the most to lose actually being their support, Divine Moose 13, because of the fact that, for me, that matchup is pretty huge, and given the comparison, like, I know for a fact, Lebram, you are itching, like you are chomping at the bit to have a matchup versus Divine Moose.
Wait until Sunday, dude. I can't wait to Divine.
So 100%, like when I'm looking at that could be like, because people were like, well, Divine Moose has to be at least top 3, and we've had kind of, Lebram at, top 1 for a lot of people. If Lebram comes out and just absolutely bodies Divine Moose, again, that's going to be pretty evident. Like, it'll be a pretty big shock to the system. So, Ballistic, moving on to you. Team and player, most to lose.
In my opinion, the team with the most to lose is actually Cosmic, and I this is my first split, so I don't know what they've done before this split.
We were never here before this split, by the way.
I was gonna say I think this is their first split, but
they were Astro before.
Yeah, I have somebody who knows the inside of Astro saying that they wanted Illumination because they thought it'd be the easier fight. So in my opinion, the team with the most to lose is Cosmic, and I'm not sure about the player because this is my first split. I would assume it's one of the players that are leaving IBS after this split. So
yeah, I think again that's 100%. That's perfectly fine. I'm just gonna say the leaving players, so that way there's. Again, that's a fair point. If you're looking at the perspective of potentially Cosmic wanting this matchup with Illumination, the fact of Cosmic being the only team to give them a loss and have 2-0'd them, to lose to them in the playoffs again would be pretty. Like, after feeling like, again, coming with that level of confidence, to lose like that would be pretty demoralizing, especially for those players who would be leaving. Cuda, aka Head Warden Cuda, what are your thoughts? Players and team.
I'm going to go with the general flow. Illumination Valiant definitely as a team, as an org, has the most to lose. At this point, they're starting to develop a legacy. You talk about all that with the LCS teams. Illumination is the I guess legacy of IBS, funnily enough. But going for a player specifically, I would honestly have to agree with Riv in the fact that ZMags, as a player, as the captain of Illumination Valiant, has the most to prove as a player.
I really struggle not to agree with you, because again, to me, when I was discussing this in my article, I couldn't make it clearer that, in my eyes, this matchup is going to be decided through the junglers. And however both teams choose to adapt to the opposing jungler and who their own junglers put on. ZMags, again, is 100%, for the most part, known to be an aggressive early game jungler. And if he gets set behind, as he did in Game 1 versus Cosmic when they were playing in the regular season, it becomes difficult for them to obviously rebound because they're basing themselves on that. So again, if ZMags doesn't have that series.
You can even look at the game, the series that Astro played against Illumination. We took a game off of them when we put ZMags behind, and he wasn't allowed to do what ZMags does.
So, again, Jensen, you're up on the team with most to lose and player. So
I'm going to differ a little bit from everyone. I'm going to go with MIT. Because at the beginning of the season, when you did your power rankings first, we had Astro at first because they had a powerhouse. It kind of didn't work. And second, I remember it was MIT. with like having such strong player like Fishing, JJ, Traxon, and I mean I feel like for those players, if you just die in semis, it's kind of a disappointment. For my player to lose the most, I feel like it's probably. I mean, I'm gonna go with my buddy Ibram here because he hasn't won a IBS split, and we all know he's now gold. So this is pretty much his last chance to win a championship in IBS versus GG.
All right. Again, so we've walked through this. You know, I have my own soft spot being redemption based in the sense that we're just happy to be here. The joke again at the start was, haha, we're the 8th place champions, and now we're sitting here with this. So I appreciate that. Once more, just kind of moving forward, so we're on to the next aspect. So we've got a couple leaving players here. So we've got, you know, Cuda, we've got Lebram, we've got Jensen. We talked about it very briefly when we were looking at kind of, you know, our feelings that this was the most competitive split. So just for Cuda, LebramJames, and then Jensen, thoughts on the state of the league again as you're transitioning out of it here. So Cuda again first. I guess. Oh, never mind. I guess we've got Atilla here. So feel free.
You forgot that I'm here, dude?
Well, I went through this because I saw your example. Again, okay, so go ahead. Go ahead now that you've got the floor.
Alright, so honestly I think Cosmic has a lot to lose in like this whole playoff run, just because the team itself is the last remaining Astro IBS roster. So they're essentially our last hope. So it's always good to have them getting cheered on by the rest of the Astro organization. And honestly, the way they've been practicing, whether it be with like the gold Astro teams or just playing together, they're really putting in like the effort to really win the whole thing. And especially Joey, who is Bad Vibes or Bad Vibes Forever, whatever the hell he changed his name to in like the last day or so. He's been putting so much work into improving himself and deepening his champion pool. And with him, Ibram, and I believe Crow leaving IBS, it's their last hurrah to finally win. So I honestly think that they've got the most to lose in this entire thing.
Well, and again, I've spoken with people in a variety of ways, and one of my deepest wishes is we've had a lot of great competition in IBS. Like in some variations, we've had some really good players, and my own hope again for next split in gold is that we start transitioning that a little bit. That we have kind of some of those Astro people, you know, pick up the pace, you know, like move up to gold or what have you, and you know maybe have a team, get some examples of that, because we've had that kind of, you know, I'm not going to necessarily name names, and like I will say a name, but I don't want this to be a representation against the person, but just when you think again about people who graduated in the last 2 splits, you know, if we're looking at Bisharp, Exile, you know, other people like that, when you're looking at the gold rosters, you know, for this last little split, or even for the last previous 2 splits, you don't see a lot of IBS veterans, you know, kind of come up and be, you know, involved, so to say, in the gold league. And that's something that I was always hoping that we could see. So I'm interested to see if that kind of transitions to next split. Which also, once more, runs back into that question about, you know, the state of the league. So, Cuda, state of the league now that you're, again, being given the boot.
Yeah. So, I'm going to be, at least, the state of the league, I'm honestly a little afraid considering how many veterans we do have moving up this split. A lot more than what I guess was expected. So I'm just hoping that how solid the teams were this split carries on with the new blood that's going to be coming in. But moving up in the gold, it's going to be interesting. I should have been honestly go with the split, but shit happens. I wasn't able to make it. But
Well,
it's gonna be an interesting split for both gold and IBS.
absolutely. And again, just for the record, again, we're up to 3 bombs in some variation. Again, we've got 2 F bombs and an S. Like again, this is not a family friendly cast here, and that's okay. I'm down for that. So
No swearing on this good Christian podcast, I thought.
I have no filter, and I am sorry.
Neither do I. I swear like a fucking sailor.
Oh, come on, bud. Come on. All right. So Jensen, moving forward, looking at the next bet, state of the league, thoughts.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad for the league. Honestly, there's a lot of players leaving. Known players like Fishing, me, Cuda, but I mean, there's new talents coming. There's Feeney or Dalit, whatever his name is, came in with a classic this season, pretty good. We have Ballistic, we have Kaneki, I believe is still going to be in IPS next season. I think the league is still going to be just as good for next bit. There might be some, even more player coming in next week. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I mean, there is a little to worry because it is big names leaving the league right now.
Well, again, and there's about a dozen leaving or so. And when we're looking at the playoffs, in general, the expectation of all of these teams they're going to lose 2 starters minimum. Cosmic again loses 3/5 of their roster. No 2 ways around it. Illumination will lose 2 people. They've said not due to ranking out, but just they're not sure if they're able to have that commitment. And then Redemption, aka soon to be the glorious return of Owo, is also losing again two people as well. So
wait, Owo's coming back?
It is a possibility. Again, you know me and the joys of feeling like again I have anything resembling competition.
Fair enough.
So we'll see in regards to what kind of comes with that. Lebram, again, just wrapping things up. Thoughts on the state of the league?
I don't think the league will be in a bad position. Yeah, we'll miss a lot of people. There's a lot of things been brewing about the Anarchy team, but that's all I'm gonna say about it. I think that's gonna make the league even better. Illumination's probably coming back. Astro's coming back. Team will be back. They'll be back with power, I think.
And again, there's been rumors of new teams joining already. So
insert RAR here.
One sec. I wish you could have seen the chill go up my spine. But all right. So we're actually.
I'm not gonna say it's true. All I'm gonna say is Doki was trying to get me to join some random team.
All I'm gonna say is
tried to get everybody at one point.
Yeah. All I'll say is that I remember a time last year when I was doing 5 days a week of various leagues, and it'd be like, hey, can you sub for this league tonight? Oh, cool. What league is it? Let me get back to you on it. Again, I'm in leagues I still have no idea before and after. There was some really funky stuff going on. All right, let's get to the setup, and naturally, again, because I'm kind of the leading panelist, the Chris Berman of this, I wanted to get my series out of the way first so I can actually have fun talking about the other series. So, Redemption versus Monkeys in Training. Going through, quite simply, what is it going to take for the teams to win? And then likewise, the second question that I'll be coming back after that is what could stop each of those teams from winning? So, first set, what would it take for Monkeys in Training to win, and what would it take for Redemption to win? So, again, just because I want to make sure that our boy, again, if Attila's here, Attila, you'll get the horn first because, hey, I'm respecting you. I'm giving you first blood of this. Well, he's not here, so we're going to move on to Lebram. So, Lebram.
So for MIT to win, I think two big things need to happen. First, the mid lane gap. You can't be losing to Jensen. You at least need to go even in lane for Fishing for Honor or whoever they start mid lane. And for the second big point, I think they need to get Traxton to late game on one of his carry picks. Their supports haven't been consistent. They've also been trying out new ones, so you just need to get Traxton to late game with a good pick in an okay position, and mid lane can be too one-sided for redemption.
All right. Continuing on for Ballistic. Again, what does it take for MIT to win? What does it take for Redemption to win?
For MIT to win, I feel like I partially agree. You know, it's going to take not losing to Jensen in lane, but I also think that it's going to be making sure to capitalize on any mistake Redemption. If they're a little slow to a rotation, you got to punish that because they are a very good team. So is MIT. I just feel like Redemption is a better team. And for Redemption to win, I feel like all that they need to do is play their game, be smart, and don't let MIT capitalize on too many mistakes.
Again, I think that's certainly fine. Moving on, just for the sake of Cuda.
Alright.
Again, just so that for the record, the question is, what is it going to take for MIT to win? What is it going to take for Redemption to win?
For MIT to win, I think I agree with what everyone else said so far. Honor can't fall behind the Jensen. It can't happen. Jensen is good enough to solo carry, and with that Redemption roster, he doesn't have to. So having him even or ahead it can't happen.
And to add on to that, going up against Jensen is a pretty scary ordeal in itself. So, I mean, he's really going to have to do his best to not fall behind. Because if he doesn't, then Tristan's just going to walk all over him. By the way, am I coming through okay?
Yeah, as long as... Again, we've just got the fine, fantastic wind tunnel here a little bit. So, just kind of, again, continuing on. So, Doki, now's your chance again. We've got to summon you. What does it take for Monkeys in Training to win? What does it take for Redemption to win? Well...
Doki? Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Doki.
Okay, while we're waiting for Doki to load up again...
What did he say?
What is it going to take for MIT to win? What is it going to take for Redemption to win?
Whichever baby screams louder.
Again, that's... We've affectionately called that baby Doki, just so you know. Again, you joined a little late, but that's...
Well, okay. You guys are on...
What is it going to take for Redemption to win? What is it going to take for Monkeys in Training to win?
Oh, Indigo.
Okay, I see a ton of Indigo. What about Indigo?
If Indigo wins his games, it's going to be a 3-0.
Okay. What is it going to take for MIT to win?
To have Indigo play.
So, the solution to that, again, is if Indigo plays, he's going to both win and lose.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Doki, again. Glad to always touch base with you. Moving on to Cuda. Cuda, thoughts?
Wait, I'm not done. So what's going to happen? If Indigo loses,
Okay.
he doesn't feel like playing, I have to play, and then the game's over.
Oh.
Because then they're definitely going to lose.
Okay, so...
Be careful, he might flash on you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Again. So, if Indigo is the key, in the sense that if he continues to win, it's going to continue to be a snowball. If he loses, however, again, things could get desperate for Redemption. Good points. Alright, so, Cuda, thoughts?
I mean, fair enough, Doki. But Yeah, like I said, fishing for honor. The mid lane is going to be the tipping point. Whichever laner gets ahead, I think can just it. The series are on the mid laner shoulders. I think.
Okay, that's perfectly fair. Ballistic, have we covered you just so I can be sure?
This is the first question
Yeah.
about how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Jensen, thoughts?
For Redemption to win, I just feel like pretty much between this series, I should feel is whoever wins lane for like there's pretty much 3 lanes. Whoever's win, I feel like 2 lanes is gonna win the game. Like top lane in Feathers against JJ, pretty much whoever wins is gonna be pretty much one-sided. I don't think it's gonna be really like. I feel like there's 2 aggressive players, and I feel whoever's gonna get a lead is gonna really take it to the end. Mid lane, I mean, I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm gonna be playing in it, but like it's definitely gonna be one interesting lane to watch. Maybe one of the most interesting in both semis. And for bot lane, I mean, I feel like bot lane's pretty much just gonna farm 35 minutes until like a team fight starts, and it's whoever is able to do more in those team fights that's really gonna dip the balance.
And again, just in case, Attila, again, thoughts in regards to the win conditions of MIT and Redemption, just in case you haven't said them.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey.
Whatever you do, don't let Tristan snowball. That's all they need to do.
Everybody, say hi to baby Doki.
Hi, baby
Doki. Or
Doki.
just wait, hold on. Hi, Doki, how are you?
Hi, Doki.
But, yeah, like I said, just don't let Tristan snowball. Or leave Jensen, I should say. Because, like, if you give him any resources and any, like, capacity, he's just gonna take it and run.
I think, again, that's certainly a fair point in regards to if you give Tristan an inch, he'll take a mile. So...
He'll take a nautical acre, dude.
Yeah. So again, looking at and kind of now that we've looked at this, what again could potentially stop either of these teams, from winning? Just simply put, again, we've covered it, but moving forward, if there's one thing that could kind of stop teams, Lebram, what do you think again could stop either one of these teams in their tracks?
I think both ballers need to be on their days. Traxon's not on his day, his team loses. And if J-Doggish is on a good day, his team loses. And because I think J-Doggish has been more consistent, I think it's the slacker edge over here. I think whichever bot lane is not on today will lose the game first team.
Okay, Ballistic, thoughts?
I think it's going to come down to mistakes either way. Punishing mistakes on MIT's part and avoiding making mistakes on Redemption.
Okay, Cuda?
Yeah. It'll agree. I do agree with the bottom lanes being a big pivoting point, as well as the junglers. Indigo versus the Doc. It'll be a big tipping point for the match. Whoever can get their laner snowballing.
Yeah. Take the floor.
This is one of the. I would say this is the closer of the 2 matches, even though it's. Yeah, I would say this is the definitely the closer of the 2 matches. So it'll be a much closer tipping point than I think Cosmic and Illumination will be.
Okay.
I will say I don't agree with that.
I know, we're going to get into this. We're going to be really close on this. Doki's kind of expressed his stuff, but yes, I will give you the floor. So you're thinking, again, it's 3 games if Indigo is hot. What happens if he's not, Doki?
No, lose.
I just realized it's I forgot JJ was still on that team, on the opposite team. So it's all it depends on JJ showing up to the game first, and then he goes to Indigo.
Okay.
JJ's still a top laner.
I know, but there was a game where he didn't show up.
Oh yeah.
and like everyone was like running around with their head cut off, and I was like in the whole game, I was literally like, what are they doing? Why aren't they not doing this and that? And, like, they don't have a shot caller. I was like, oh.
All right.
You guys remember that game?
I do indeed. So
I
Jensen,
was like, confused.
I'll get to that when we get to our discussion in regards to game stuff. Jensen, thoughts? What could be the tipping point for either of these teams in regards to losing stuff?
I feel like if any players, any role get ahead, like just by much, I just feel like it would be like the end for the other team. If either JJ or Feathers or Indigo or the dog or myself or Fishing gets ahead, I feel like it's just pretty much over.
All right, and Attila, what do you think?
I'm pretty much with the general consensus. For MIT, probably just want to get their bot lane ahead. And for Redemption, just get mid lane ahead.
Okay. All right. Now we get into, at last, the series predictions here. And I'm going to just preface this by discussing my own stuff and some other people's thoughts. So again, starting this off, Riv 60, aka again, Cosmic, aka Scarlet. He had, again, Redemption in 4 games, the crucial player in the series being Traxon. So his major focus, again, can Traxon be insulated enough? Can he be protected enough because of his consistency that he's able to get to that point to be a big carry threat? Again, Robin, aka I Play Support, said Monkeys in Training in 3 games, in particular highlighting Fishing for Honor. Again, just feeling like this has to be a major vindication for Fishing. Fishing, again, was removed at a point for being, from the Stars position. And that's kind of, the major thing that is cropped up this last little split is the exact same thing that happened with Monkeys in Training last split. They've got 4 supports, 2 mid laners, 2 junglers, 2 top laners on their roster. We have, speaking in regards to this, I'm not sure if at this point they know who is planning on showing up on Sunday. And as such, there's that element of kind of danger. You have that preferred roster, but as Doki said, what happens if JJ doesn't show up? Well, all of a sudden, they've got to do different various plans with, Daddy Soul or something along those lines. We had this case last split where nobody knew what Monkeys in Training's roster was until they were pretty much in the lobby. So, that being said, looking at stuff, it's time to kind of put our money where our mouth is. We've covered Doki. Doki kind of included his stuff. Lebram, it's time to make some predictions. What are you predicting for this series again, and why do you think they're going to win? Who's the crucial factor?
Redemption in 3, and it's not even going to be close. I'm not disrespecting my MIT by saying this. I'm really, really respecting Redemption by saying this. As I said, Traxon and their jungler, which I believe is Ballslap, where the Doc is, are going to be crucial for them. If they can perform, they can completely flip this game and take it to at least 5-game series against Redemption. I think Redemption wins, and I think of MIT as the fly quest of this league. They're good. They can beat the lower ranked team if they can't mess with the big boys.
All right. So again, and you highlighted Ball Slap and Traxon as the kind of the crucial people. Is that what? Yeah. Okay. So, again, we've got, if those two are present, that series again goes into 5 games. All right. So Ballistic, again, we've got a couple people for Monkeys. We've got a couple people for Redemption. Where are you sitting, and who's the crucial player in the series? Give us all of your thoughts now.
I think it's going to be Redemption in either 3 or 4. I could see MIT pulling the game out of them. But for one thing, Redemption earlier in this split swept MIT, and I believe that was their first loss. Redemption also has the stronger laners to me, with Jensen and J-Doggish both being the number one mid laner and ADC to me. So I think that it's definitely going Redemption.
Yeah, again, 100%. Totally fine there. Moving on to Cuda. Cuda, what are your thoughts in regards to that?
Alright, I believe it is going to be Redemption in 4. And the big tipping point, especially if MIT can pull it out, is going to be Fishing for Honor. He needs to show up. He needs to put Jensen in his place if that's ever possible, which I don't think it is.
There is somebody who can put Jensen in his place.
Yeah.
I don't think they exist at this elo.
He carried against us when I camped him level 2 on Xinjiao.
That's true. That is true. The other thing again that could potentially be a crucial player in the series that could also stop Jensen would be Zoe. So that being said, again,
not the enemy Zoe. It's his own Zoe that would stop the game.
That's important. Yeah. No. Again. So Jensen
pulls Zoe out mid 3 games in a row. Oh well, MIT swept.
Well, again, that could definitely be the key or whatever, or maybe alternatively, maybe Redemption gets up 2 games and Jensen's like, no, just first pick me Zoe. I want to see again if even when I'm put the weights on me, boys, put the weights on me. I want to see if I can still carry. So Jensen,
the backpack and the weights on.
Yeah, exactly. Going into the hyperbolic time chamber.
Cuda on him too.
Literally everybody just play supports.
Yeah.
I want a Sonateric bot lane. I want
Ivern
Lulu mid lane.
Yeah.
No. This is Jensen playing Zoe and everybody else playing a support.
Yeah.
Just to make sure he makes it to the lane.
Yeah. Wait, we'll have Ivern, we'll have Sona and Tarek, and we'll have Machine Gun Lulu at top. There we go. We're good.
That's how you win.
All right. So Jensen, thoughts? What's your prediction?
I think it's gonna be MIT. Redemption in 5. I think MIT is getting a little undermined here. I think they're strong. They're during the season, they had a little bit of struggle during the mid-season. They came back in later stages. So I think it's going to be a hard-fought series, even though people still predict us 3-0 or 3-1. And by the way, I got a pentakill on my Zoe feathers, so fuck you.
Oh!
With a team full of supports, Justin.
Yeah. So who's the crucial player in the series then?
I'm gonna say, if it's gonna be MIT winning, I'd say it's Traxon. If it's gonna be Redemption, I'd say it's probably gonna be, I guess, me.
Alrighty. So, anything else in regard, because we've got again some variation in regards to this. Some general thoughts for some of the disagreements if kind of any exist. Atilla, you had Redemption in 3 games. Let's hear why. Again, we're thinking Redemption in 3.
Okay, so I forgot what I put. I thought I put like 4 games, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right,
Redemption in 4.
Yep.
Just because Astro, when we played you guys,
Yep.
We did manage to exploit some of your weaknesses.
Oh yeah.
So if somehow they managed to tap into what Astro did, then they're gonna at least take 1 game. Tristan's a versatile player, same with J-Dog, so I think it's gonna be in 4 games for you guys.
Yep. Alright, so just looking at stuff, again, if we've got 8 people, the general thought again is 6-2. Again, 75% of people saying Redemption is going to win. The interesting thing that I saw as we kind of develop stuff out here is from an outside perspective, a lot the 2 Redemption people kind of on the panel here are like, no, you guys are sleeping on MIT. And the other guys, again, the outside people are going, no, you guys are going to put MIT to sleep. Like, you're going to put him in a coffin here pretty quick. And that's really interesting for, like, the context of stuff. Because you would think, and for myself, again, I understand that I kind of am like, you know, like, every team's good, and I genuinely believe that. But to have Jensen go, you know, like, the two people with the most MIT-related stuff are I play support and the two redemption people, saying, well, this isn't, like, if either MIT wins or else this is a long series. And that's a really interesting concept in regards to kind of how we're looking at it. In the sense that the redemption people perhaps don't have that same level of confidence, whereas the outside people are like, no, this isn't as close of a series again as we think. And just to kind of wrap up for myself, I just want to go back to the fact that, you know, MIT, when they played, had the issue of having no JJ. And that obviously, again, was a changing thing. They've switched around their laners, and it really is shades of last split for them. We don't, like, people aren't going to know what the actual Monkeys in Training roster is until it's there. And you don't have that exact same thing with Illumination and Cosmic. So when we're getting to that again very, very soon, you know, when we're looking at that, we know all the players that are going to be here. We don't know, again, is there support going to be Jibs and Bits? Is it going to be Ralphie? Is it going to be, again, I can't even really remember. In mid lane, again, is it Fishing for Honor? If Fishing for Honor stumbles a little bit, do they go back to Ball Slap? Like, do they switch over the course of the series, again, if bot lane is getting worked over potentially, and go, no, let's try and bring back the magic of Traxon and JJ, and we'll bring back our substitute top laner to come play top. There's a lot of, again, moving pieces with Monkeys in Training, and that's why I think it's a really interesting series for one way or the other. And I do see, again, for the most part, you know, it being a little bit more complex than simply that. All right. Now that we've gotten that tiresome thing in regards to stuff related to, you know, my team out of the way, we can get to the good stuff. Illumination Valiant versus Cosmic. Hey, we might actually wrap this up in an hour and a half. Go figure. So,
Yay!
What would it take for Illumination Valiant to win? What will it take for Cosmic to win? Starting it off again, let's just get Atilla in here right off the bat. Atilla, what do we think?
Oh, dope! I'm starting first. Cool.
Yes.
All right. So to start off with Illumination winning and Cosmic winning, right?
Yeah. What is it going to take for each of those teams to win?
Well, Illumination are already a really, really good team, so I can't really say that, like, there's much to be. Well, there's a lot of. God damn it! I can't think of the words to say about Illumination because, I mean, like I said, they're a really good team, so it probably won't take much for them to win. But if anything, they're probably gonna have to play through their mid laner. I'm a little out of breath. Holy shit.
It's okay.
I wish I was running. But for Cosmic, on their end, it would have to be through bot lane. Because, I mean, Joey's a really scary AD. Ibrahim's a really, really good support. And if they could pull together, they can definitely take over bot lane and just help everywhere else. And snowball through.
All right. Perfectly good. Jensen, what are your thoughts?
I feel like it's gonna be an interesting series. I don't think Swaggy B is gonna be able to change the series much. I feel like best support BOL or whatever his name is by now is gonna be just playing passive, not allowing Swaggy to have any kind of lead. I think playing in the top lane against I don't know who's gonna start for my Cosmic, but I mean pretty much whichever starts gonna be pretty much a even lane. So I think like whoever's gonna win bot lane, and those are like really good, two really good bot laners down there, Joey and Ibrahim, and Divine Moose and Kaneki. I feel like whoever's gonna win the bot lane matchup is gonna pretty much win the series for their team, and this is why I think it's really, really close series because I think both can do that.
I will preface this by openly saying that almost like in the comparison between me and you, Jensen, we almost couldn't be further apart in regards to how we're expressing stuff on who we think again is crucial, and I appreciate that. And I'll get into that again a little bit later. But we got Doki here, who's got some words to say. Doki, what are you thinking for again? What are the Illumination versus Cosmic? How does each team win? Yeah, use your words, Doki.
LebramJames.
Yeah. Okay. So all we've heard again is LebramJames. LebramJames.
So LebramJames has to deal with Akaki.
Attack you.
And then he has to deal with Mag.
Thank you.
Z-Mag Z.
Mm-hmm.
So LebramJames
Here you go, baby. Connecting.
Wait, isn't Z-Max ineligible to play for the playoffs?
He's good for the
No,
playoffs.
he was suspended until playoffs.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's now again allowed to play. It was because he spent 3 weeks being ineligible, and well over multiple series, and such, and so people were like, no, we have to. You can't be ineligible for 3 weeks when you're a captain, and be expected to like not get at least a little bit of stuff. Thankfully, again, the punishments and all that didn't really affect anything, so I'm really super happy about that.
Wait. Did he play in these games while being ineligible?
He played in one series in an agreement that was with Astro New Horizon, and in the other one he was ineligible, and it was changed from a loss to a forfeit. So
they lost the point.
Yeah, they lost 1 point, but it didn't affect things.
Game. Thanks, Z-Max.
So
Thanks, Z-Mag.
so
Thank Mr. Z-Mag.
thank
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Obama.
Because Z-Max is just going to play how he normally plays. He Kaneki's going to play how he normally plays. So it's just really up to LebramJames. He's pretty much the JJ in this scenario.
All right. So I'm sure LeBram feels again a deep sense of pride in regards to being compared with JJ. We'll get that opportunity to speak with him soon. Cuda, what are your thoughts for how each team wins?
I think it's going to be a very big pivoting point in the bottom lane. Whichever bottom lane gets ahead of the other bottom lane should be able to hold on and win it all. So like I said, it'll be a big matchup of Kaneki versus Joey.
Alrighty. And LeBram, again, it's time for you to say words. You know, we'll say I saved the best for last. There you go.
It's time for me to say
Balls doesn't get an opinion in this one.
Oh yeah, you will. Don't worry. I'm saving the very best for last. Don't worry. I was gonna make that as a joke, but
I see how it is, but okay. So Illumination Valiant, for them to win, they need to forget that they lost against us. They need to go in with a mindset and it's gonna be hard because we're the only team to beat them. But they can't take that last loss against us. Think, oh, they wanted us. Oh, they really think that maybe they're just better than us. Because we're not better than them. We just play better than them.
I just want to interject for half a second here.
Yeah.
How do you think Vandal Nomad beat Illumination Valiant in our finals?
How did they do that?
You always got to keep bringing that up, Cuda.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Why should I ever let that die? I will never let that die.
What are you talking about? Illumination didn't even play their best 5. They had 3 of their players drop out.
Here we go.
This is what Feathers was waiting for, boys.
Jerry.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I'm known as one of the most egotistical players in the IBS League, hands down. And we beat Redemption, and I'm still not talking about it. Shut up.
What game was that?
It was the second
last game before Arctic.
Yeah. Second. So it's okay. Again, if there's one thing we in the Iron Bronze Silver League love to do, it's live on our past glories. Again, I can't
Yeah,
count.
because that's all
Blaming
we've
the
got.
fuck out of each other. What the fuck?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
So,
Me and Atilla had beef for what, 3 weeks, all over a person joining my team, and me
Your team
going.
sucks, bro.
I mean, at the time, your team sucked. So.
yeah.
Yeah, that's because we had Robin. We
Oof.
offloaded our problem onto you.
You want to know what's funny? You want to know what's funny?
Shit,
We were 50% after we kicked Robin.
I was gonna say again, right? Everyone's gonna be like, "What?" People be like, "Well, what was like the overarching story of the entire split?" And people be like,
Did they sign Robin or not?
"Yeah."
The funny thing is, Robin came back to Astro and then won his only series of the split.
Yeah.
Yep.
the power of Sona Tarek.
See, what we need to do in regards to next split, if people want to do things right, they need to do 2 things. First of all, again, Cuda, you've got to go into some stupid lane to start, then you switch in week 2. Same thing with Robin. What Robin has to do is he has to go on some team, quit that team, then come back to that team, and that team will be good. There, we've solved like all of the problems.
I will say he lived up to the name he started the split with. He was the resident hooker.
All right.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
All right.
See, the thing is, I will be starting support next split. So I'm going to end up in some other role at some point in the season, and I'm going to start dumpstering people.
Watch. Chain Wardens in Gold League is going to have me and Cuda in the bot lane again, and then midway through the split, it's going to be Cuda and me in the support role.
Okay. So all right. So, Tilla, do you got anything to say on this before we move forward?
What question are we even
Not
on?
really.
Wasn't it the ballistic one?
All right. And I'll also bring up one. I know Ballistic's got to say something, but I've also got another fine, fantastic thing. Again, Ballistic, you were talking about Vandal Nomad. All I'm thinking of is an 0-11 Yorick once upon a time. If we're gonna go,
Don't remind me of that game.
all right.
Let me guess, it was Cuda's Yorick?
Yep. That was the week before our roster swaps.
I just want to say first for Doki, because you flamed Vandal, we beat your team in semis, but
That's true.
Yeah, we beat RAR in semis to play Illumination in finals.
Whoa. You guys didn't beat RAR.
Yeah,
RAR after they got banned because they decided to tell the
no, we
admins
beat y'all
to
fair
fuck
and
off.
square? Question mark.
All right.
That
So
was- we had the same issue as Illumination. We also had players on our team that got banned for playoffs.
all right. Anyways, getting back to it. LeBram, any kind of closing stuff, then we'll move on to Ballistic.
Oh no, you can move on to the list.
All right, Ballistic, what were your thoughts? Key players, best for last again. What's it going to take for Illumination to win? What's it going to take for Cosmic to win?
This game, in my opinion, is going to be highly dependent upon lane matchups. It's going to be highly dependent upon RNG in a way of what drags come up and who's able to get them. And it's also going to be a lot of game planning because, in my opinion, this is the closest matchup of semis. So it's going to be an interesting match that can go either way, and it's all on the strategy and who can what's the word? Like, who can actually get their strategy to work.
All right. So now that we really get the chance to listen to me yap, for me, the number one thing that I feel like people are glossing over here. We've talked again. We both know. Everyone here knows again that these are two very good bot lanes. But for me, the difference is, and it's piggybacking off of Ballistic's thing a little bit here in regards to what team is proactive, and number one, what Cosmic chooses to put Crow Theo on. Because Illumination Valiant, again, has a general game plan that they use with Z-Mags. You know, you'll see him on the Jax. You'll see him on the Vi. You'll see him on the Xin Zhao. And that's, again, for the most part, been his kind of 3 bread and butter. Crothiel...
bread and butter since Split 2.
And Crothiel, again, he can give you the Jarvan, again, but they can go supportive with Ivern. They can go more objective-based, even more so with Nunu. They've got Sejuani. There's a lot of options in Crothiel's, repertoire that Illumination Valiant, they tend to go through, operate through Z-Mags being a proactive jungler. So, that being said, does Cosmic say, you know what? Let's put Crothiel on Jarvan, go strength on strength. Do they go, okay, let's have him on Ivern, Nunu, or Sejuani, and go, okay, Z-Mags, whatever you're on, whether that be Jax, Xin Zhao, Vi, or anything along those lines, you're not going to have the same impact probably in a team fight that a Sejuani or a Nunu potentially could have, or an Ivern, or anything.
I just want to say, Crow has not been able to play one game with Jarvan this entire split because it has been banned every single game.
Well, so again, that how each team reacts to that is going to be pretty important. If the Jarvan is banned, well, okay. Crow has other options as well, but it creates that different kind of dynamic. Lynx, again, for the most part, Lynx has played, a couple of Darius games and other things, but has opted towards the Ornn or the Maokai. If you're looking at who's going to start for Cosmic, again, if you're looking at let's say BlackJames, again, BlackJames has played a bit of Gnar, played a bit of Malphite, played a bit of of Maokai, whereas a lot of the tank top laners that Lynx plays, one of the Cosmic's top laners has played as well. So there's going to be contested picks there. So for me, in the case of Illumination, it's just quite simply, do you go with if the tried, tested, and true works, it's going to keep working. They were 8-0 in series outside of Cosmic for good reason. We can't underscore that. That being said, if we're looking at it, Cosmic was indeed the only team that beat them in the regular season. So we can't entirely discount that as well. All right. Just so that we can...
Hey, can I chime in here for a sec?
Sure.
If Cosmic want a jungler whose Jarvan has never been banned, I could lend you Rumble.
Ooh.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, again, my opinion off of stuff is that if Illumination can't be proactive, they're going to lose. And likewise, I'm going to throw it out there in regards to how Cosmic loses. It's if Swaggy P puts on his carry pants a little bit and takes kind of a power pick away from Daddy Atlas's safer mid pool. Again, when we're looking at Cosmic, again, they've had a lot of Morgana and a fair bit of Orianna in the mid lane, as kind of two of the more premier mid lane picks. And Swaggy does prioritize his Orianna, they have been known to prioritize it in the past, or at least go, okay, if it's still up, we'd be happy to take it. If Z-Mag starts affecting Daddy Atlas, it's not that Daddy Atlas doesn't have the potential to carry. That's not what I'm getting at all. What I'm talking about, again, is if the proactive stuff targets the mid lane, that's where the advantage could come for Illumination to deal with Cosmic. Because if those laners don't come out the same, the two bot lanes could be pretty comparable, and if the top lane and the bot lane all come out relatively comparable, and the mid lane is the deciding factor, one Orianna Shockwave can change up things pretty substantially in regards to any team fight. That being said, on the flip side, if Cosmic has somebody if they've got BlackJames on Gnar was taken both games last series by, Cosmic when they play in the regular season. And that difference of a more aggressive top laner versus kind of some of the more tank stuff, like Lynx busted out his Ornn in one of those games and stuff like that. If if those things happen, again, and there's more proactivity from Cosmic, Illumination may not be able to rebound quite as easily. Anyways, bringing it back to reasons why each team would lose. LeBram, thoughts?
Why any team would lose? Okay, so I could see us lose if we don't execute our game plan well, and that is the only reason I see us losing. I see us losing if we don't do what we're supposed to do. It's really, really vague, but I can't really go into what my team can do and can't do.
Yep.
And so I'll talk more about Illumination.
Yep.
Illumination, I can see them losing if they can't get their late game fights. They've always prioritized their late game fights with lanes like a tank, that can engage, and step hands with their support, trying to support connecting the lane so he can get him out to the late game. If they don't get to late game fights, I think Illumination can just lose the game.
Okay, Ballistic, you're up.
I think the only thing that can stop either team in this situation is themselves.
The mental game.
Kind of going back on how they win, it's going to be dependent upon who has the better game plan and who executes that game plan better. You know, if Cosmic comes into the game with the planning of, well, we're going to have our jungler camp bot lane and completely neuter that aspect of their game, and they manage to get that, I can see it working, and them winning. So it's kind of vice versa for Illumination. If Illumination's like, oh, we're gonna have a camp set up bot and we're gonna get Kaneki way ahead, then that works. They win. It's very dependent upon the game plan and execution of said game plans.
Okay, just before we move on to Cuda, I just have one little comment, and that is, we've dropped a ton of F-bombs, like we've had a baby in the chat and all of that, but for some reason the thing that made me shudder and shiver the most is when you were completely neuter. And I was like, I don't know why that made me all
even more than me saying Doki's bringing back Roar.
Yeah, that's also equally scary. Cuda, you're up. You got the floor.
Alright. So, for either team to win, it's get your bot lane ahead, get Joey ahead, get Kaneki ahead, tilt Joey, tilt Kaneki. Somebody's gonna tilt, somebody's gonna it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at one point in the series.
Cuda, don't give away the secrets.
Alright. Doki, how does each team lose?
I'm waiting for the one-word response, Kaneki.
Let me see. Alright, so for MIT,
Wait,
Wrong team.
Wrong ones.
I thought you meant each team, all four.
Okay, we're on Doki.
Oh my
we're
God,
on
Doki.
Doki savings time. It's DST. Okay, so we're moving back. How does Cosmic lose, and how does Illumination Valiant lose?
Cosmic loses if Z-Mag doesn't play.
Okay. So Cosmic loses
I
if...
called it the one quick word response.
Okay. So, and how does Illumination Valiant lose?
Z-Max plays.
So both teams lose if Z-Max plays. We're all losing.
No. We lose if Z-Mags doesn't play, and Z-Mags is playing. Therefore, Cosmic win. It's coming. Doki said it.
Okay. All right. Jensen.
Cosmic for Champions 2019.
Hashtag free Z-Mags.
When can I go on a rant about this game?
Just go for it.
We're almost there. We're almost I'm just wrapping this up, and then we're on our best of our predictions for the series. So Jensen, thoughts?
I feel like if Cosmic Snowball wants to win, I feel like you gotta get your laners some type of advantage, like vision. Have prio in your lanes. Keep vision to maximum. Don't let Z-Max do any play if he plays. Apparently Doki is saying that he's not gonna play, whatever. And I feel like if Illumination wants to win, you got Illumination's been known like for now 3 or 4 years for the macro play, and I feel like there's no real team in playoff at the current moment who can really match him macro play. So I feel like if you can go like Ibram said to late game and team fights, this is pretty much your big win condition.
Okay, and Attila, you're up on how each team loses.
Nope.
Nope.
No, he's not.
Okay. All right.
Kaneki.
Okay.
All right, what?
Okay. How does Cosmic lose, and how does Illumination Valiant lose?
Tilt Joe and Cosmic fall apart.
Okay. And how does
Pretty
Illumination
much.
and how does Cosmic lose, or how does Illumination Valiant lose?
Camp Kaneki.
Okay. So in short, 80 carry focus. I'm down for that.
Basically.
All right. So again, Camp Kaneki, Tilt Joey. All right. So we're on to our predictions here. Who wanted to start off with their fine, fantastic rant?
Well, that was me.
All right, Ballistic, you have the floor. Let's hear it.
So match-wise, I'm not sure which way this one's gonna go. I see it going in 5, but to me, this match should not be a semifinals match.
Hey,
No, I'm going there.
He's going there. Go.
This match shouldn't be a semifinals match because Cosmic was scared to play Redemption, so they threw the game week 9 against us to play the team that they swept in the regular season.
by the way,
Instead of playing the team that swept them, they didn't want to play against Redemption, so they lost in a game that didn't matter, so that they would be the 4th seed instead of the 3rd seed. Had they beat us, they would have been the 3rd seed. They would have been against Redemption, who already swept them once this season. And if they lost, which they did, they'd be against the team that they swept this season. So, to me, this shouldn't even be a semifinals match. The semifinals should be Cosmic versus Redemption and Illumination versus MIT.
All right.
But
Big
No,
words.
I disagree.
no, let me first. I gotta scream in a bit, and I gotta answer him.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, we didn't throw the game. The first game.
real quick.
No. You finish your sentence. Let me take this. Okay. So I told my team, if we get to playoffs, you guys choose your picks for one game. And guess what? They chose their picks for one game. We lost that game. Second game, we destroyed you guys because we told them we're gonna go back to standard. We want to win this game because we want to win this series. And then the third game, we went with semi-trolly picks because again we had nothing to lose. We were already in playoffs. We almost won but one of our players, I won't say who, made a bad mistake at the very end, cost us the entire game, and we lost the game. Okay, if I wanted to throw a game, would you really think I would waste time by going to 3 games? I don't think so.
Yeah, because you don't. Okay, I'm gonna let you know now. Somebody from Astros org, a higher up in Astros org, told me you threw the game when I asked it.
Oh, that.
I told you I wanted to play Illumination. I never said we were gonna throw a game, and I never threw a game in my. This was
Riv outed you.
Oh, okay. All right. We got the.
Riv is not in the team.
All right.
No, he runs the Discord.
You can check our chat. I told them we don't want to lose this game. Yeah, we want to play Illumination, but we don't want to lose this game. I told them.
The only reason you guys didn't lose in 2 and do that so it was quicker was so people didn't all go, yeah, it was a throw.
Buddy, we have 3 Gold 4s on our team. Do you really think we care what people say of us?
That's fair. All right. We got the smoke again. We got the popcorn again. We got the good stuff. We've been able to throw Riv 60 under the bus, which is even better. Again, and this train isn't stopping. All right.
I love you, Riv.
Wait.
Prediction out the way, so because I have a scrim in 2 minutes.
That's why I'm getting. Okay.
Okay, so again, 3-0. Last time at 2-0, I was right. Cosmic 3-0. We know how to win against them. We've done it before. We can do it again. Take it easy, guys.
Okay. All right. So Doki, you wanted to say some things? Say some things.
Alright. So, it's better how it's set up right now. Because JJ wants his revenge or redemption.
What revenge? What?
What?
Because when JJ wasn't there, the opposite team that JJ's on lost super hard.
Okay.
And JJ didn't like it. JJ was thinking of getting off the team because of that. You gotta remember, also, it doesn't help that MIT got knocked out of Blue Water yesterday. And then, like, the week before that, they got knocked out when they were in the finals. In another league.
So this
MIT has the most to lose.
Well, okay, but if I don't disagree with you, Doki, but again, if you were trying to call your shot, why wouldn't you want to try and call your shot versus Illumination Valiant, the team that eliminated you last split, even though you weren't technically on the team? Like, to me, again, that's the opportunity to, like, get rid of the demons of the past, so to say. It's like...
Well, thinking of it, like, if you want to play it off that term, the best wordplay would be when Illumination and Raw were both playing in the Silver League. We were both supposed to be in the finals because that's just how we had both seen each other, but that ended up shortly because of the competitive rulings on both sides.
Alright, so again, just so that we're clear, Doki, what is your prediction ultimately for the Illumination versus Cosmic Snowballs series?
Illumination only has 5 players, right?
Correct. They only have 5. Anyone that they would be including would be an E-sub, and I believe Cosmic has
in the
7.
playoffs?
You are allowed, but it is, like, again, in general, the rosters are locked for playoffs, but if there's stuff that comes out, there's stuff that comes up. Like, you're pretty much... The people you have are who you roll with anyways. So...
Alright. Mine would probably be Cosmic.
Okay, Cosmic and how many?
4 games.
Alright, Cosmic and 4.
After LebramJames figures out how they lost the first game.
Alright, so they lose game 1 and then Cosmic bounces back. Ballistic, what are your thoughts?
I already gave my thoughts.
Alright, so in 5 games, but who? You didn't say whom.
I said that I wasn't sure who would win this, but it was going at 5.
Alright. Cuda, you're up on deck. And then Jensen, then I think we're pretty much able to wrap this up pretty soon. Or who do you think, again, is the key player, Ballistic? Who's the key player in the series?
I will agree that the key players in the series to watch are Joey and Kaneki.
Yep.
Whichever team wins will be in the backpack of the ADC.
Sounds good. Cuda.
I'm going Cosmic in 5. Player to watch is definitely Joey. Like, if Joey doesn't tilt, they'll win. If he does tilt, they lose. Joey, don't tilt. Win for Astro. Go, go, go.
Alright.
Tilt, don't connect you to get another chip.
Alright. So we got Jensen, you're up. What's your prediction?
I think the tilt factor for Joey is true, but I don't think he's gonna tilt out. But I'm still gonna give it to Illumination in 5. I feel like this meta actually currently is a lot worse to make the late game past 35 minutes, and as pretty much everyone said, I think Illumination is the best team for late game, so I feel like it's gonna be Illumination in 5.
Okay. Who's the crucial player in the series?
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P. I appreciate that myself. Given the fact, again, I feel like Swaggy P just doesn't get enough credit because of how quiet he in general is, despite having like the Lakers display picture of like Kobe, I think.
I just feel like his presence in teamfight is very well known. Like for playing against him first week, his Orion's ultimate were on point, and I feel like he doesn't really need just Orion to do something, and I feel he's the player that does the most things in a team fight over like most mid laners in this league.
Alright. So again, looking at stuff in regards to how we're looking at our various aspects, we've got a closer series projected between Illumination, Valiant, and Cosmic. Despite that being the case, we've got 5 people saying Cosmic, 3 people saying Illumination, Valiant, 1 person undecided but saying it's going to 5 games. If we're looking at 5 games predictions, nearly over half the people, actually, one sec, let me just double check. Short of LebRam saying in 3 and 2 people saying it in 4, everyone else says this is a 5-game series. So, again, jokingly, get your popcorn ready for it, is what people essentially are saying here. Looking at and highlighting Joey again as a primary factor, Z-Mags in particular from Illumination that people had brought up. Bringing it back to the Redemption versus Monkeys in Training, everything again apparently is either the mid lane or Traxon. Like, every single person brought up either one of the mid laners or Traxon as a key thing for the most part. So obviously when we're looking at and kind of analyzing this, it's both of these series are very interesting. Redemption again looks like they are the slightly clear favorite, yet despite that, Redemption people said this is going to be a closer series. On the contrary, those who are on Cosmic Snowballs said, Cosmic Snowballs in 3 games. So there's a lot of confidence from Cosmic, justifiably so, given the fact that, they did sweep the regular season with them. Wrapping it up, just looking at the kind of last little bit stuff, the crucial factors, we've kind of covered it. Once more, looking back at our general IBS stuff. Team with the most to lose, Illumination Valiant by far. And that was reflected into how we looked at our matchups, with Cosmic being the slight favorite. So in short, the pressure seems to be on them the most, and we'll see how it kind of goes from there. Any kind of last thoughts from Ballistic, just in regards to anything else here, before we wrap up? We're going to everybody, so Ballistic.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It'll definitely be a good semifinals, all around, and I think that finals will be awesome to watch, and I'm excited for next split.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so continuing on, Cuda, any last thoughts?
This is going to be one hell of a playoffs. If you thought any of the other playoffs prior to this were good, they haven't seen anything yet. This is going to be the closest playoffs we've seen.
All right. Baby Doki, any thoughts? Doesn't look like Baby Doki's got any thoughts.
She's not on my lap anymore.
All right. So, Doki, your thoughts?
This is probably the first playoffs that the ODO didn't fuck up with its competitive ruling.
Well, I think we're pretty much at the point where I'm the only person who hasn't dropped a swear word, so I might just do it at like the last sentence just for the sake of it. Jensen, you're up. Last thoughts.
I feel like for any of these series, I feel like it's gonna be the team who wins is gonna be the one. They're gonna be the one who has a better read on the meta. I feel like since MSI hasn't started with the new patches coming up, I feel like nobody knows really what's going on with the game, and if a team is able to read it better, I feel like they're gonna take it all the way to the finals.
Alrighty. Again, this is the brief little wrap up in regards to the semifinals. Hopefully, obviously, we'll have another kind of brief finals podcast here. Brief again. Hey, we've cut it down.
It's been an hour and a half.
It almost has been. I've been looking at the clock, and again, Jensen and formerly LebRam can know we went over 2 hours on the people, like on the player positional power rankings or whatever.
We were there for power rankings, dude. We were sitting in our chair for at least two hours and a half. At least.
Yeah, it was.
Can we have a hype? Can we get a hype podcast like before the next split?
I'm kind of super down for that as long as we get people.
I'm willing to sit in for it.
All right. So wrapping it up. Again, be sure to check out the games. We'll see how many we are able to stream. For sure, the finals again will have some variation of streaming. gentle reminder to anybody again listening that All-Stars is the week after finals. So that is, again, not this Sunday, not the next Sunday, but the Sunday following finals, which is the 12th of May. Any case, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks to everybody being here, as well as those people, again, who were not here and submitted their stuff, which includes Riv60 and I Play Support. Again, we had Atilla, we had Jensen, we had Head Warden Cuda, we had Ballistic One, we had Doki, we had Baby Doki, we had LebramJames. Wrapping this all up, again, it is the rambling content creator from nowhere near Tirana, Feathers and Fur, saying goodbye and see you later there, bud.